So welcome to ArchEng 2015. We're here at Victoria University's School of Architecture, and the teams are just finishing the final parts of their designs before the judging in about an hour and a half, so it's a lot of tension. The design brief this year for the teams was just build something iconic on the waterfront of Wellington, and from what I've seen so far they've taken it in 100 different directions. It's been inspiring to watch them work. Our site visit this year was to the Clyde Quay development down on the waterfront, and a big shout out to Martin and Ian from Athfield Architects and Ryan from Dunning Thornton for spending some time with us in the group, walking us around that development and showing how collaboration between architects and engineers in the field actually getting things built is still critical to their professional development. A really great message for those students to hear as they brought that inspiration and design and tips and tricks back into their design projects.
The visit down to Clyde Quay was really interesting for me, and I think they said it was the first ever floating car park, so that really interested me.
And the stuff they have to deal with and the communication between from the welders all the way to the contractors to the builders gives you an appreciation of everyone's jobs and everyone's communication.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for finding design mentors for our teams to work with yesterday. We had Alistair Russell and Ralph Kessel from Cement and Concrete Association. We had Hugh Tennant from Tennant Brown representing the timber industry, and I'd like to thank Kevin Cowie from Steel Construction New Zealand. The team's got a lot of benefit out of talking to those professionals and integrating their experience and materials specific knowledge into their designs where appropriate.
I've never worked with an architect before. I really respect what I've learned from them now.
It might be the best experience in my life, honestly, because I was struggling with the structural things, and now I feel that I have another part of my brain which helps me a lot.
Traditionally, you have the architect design something and then the engineer comes in, but in this environment it's different in that we're creating a design together.
When I'm spitting out ideas, he can immediately bring me back to earth if they're a bit too wild. Yeah, what's really interesting is coming up with the design simultaneously.
I'm finding the ArchEng competition quite interesting to see from an architect's perspective how important space and natural light and all that sort of stuff comes into play.
How we come together to create something that works with both has been quite beneficial.
The main thing that I'm taking out of this would be, I've gotten perspectives from the architecture view and even the contractor's view.
We've got a lot of dialogue going between us all the time, and that's what is really exciting.
We came up with a concept together at the beginning, and I think having both parties buy in was really essential. I think all or nothing, you've got to be in it together to start with, so right from the very first conversation, the broader the design team can be, I think the more beneficial it will be to the public.
For people doing ArchEng next year, I'd definitely recommend applying and trying to be here because it's well worth it.
So far we haven't had anything like this in our degree, and it's been pretty awesome to come out and meet some new people, like-minded people, whether they're architects or engineers, and get a time-pressured design scenario.
Come to an ArchEng workshop. Such a great program to actually connect the two disciplines. If you don't win anything, if you gain something, you make new friends.
Minister Goodhue, distinguished guests, and especially our ArchEng competitors, kia ora tātou, good evening, and very warm welcome to this very special event. We've been a proud sponsor of ArchEng since it was first created by Joe Gaiman of CCAN, so we were thrilled to have the opportunity to broaden our involvement, and we're delighted that the New Zealand Institute of Building has committed to the development of ArchEng in 2016 to ArchEng Build, and that's really going to assist with the construction component.
As the next generation of architects and engineers, you need to be adept at collaborating, and so you got the opportunity to try that out here. I guess you know that that's going to be pretty important in your careers. The winning team is Ashley and Simon for their design, The Outcrop.
I'm shocked, it was amazing. Yeah, it's a real good experience.
Yeah, I'm equally surprised.
We sort of sat down and just looked at what Wellington what is the characteristics of Wellington, what defines it, and then try to incorporate that into our design and just keep it as open as possible.
For me, I think iconic is defined after the fact. If you set out to design something iconic, I don't think you ever will. And it's people's use of a building, or not a building in this case, that look back upon a design and think that's iconic for whatever reason, and how people engage with it.
Don't hesitate, just do it, just get involved as soon as you can. Yeah, it's a great experience.
I'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters of this year's ArchEng event, in particular Sean McGuinness, who gave our keynote speech. I'd like to thank Martin van der Tol and Ian Dickfield of Athfield Architects, and Ryan Clark from Dunning Thornton for taking us around the Clyde Quay development. I'd like to thank Nick Mowat from Athfield Architects and Hamish McKenzie from Holmes Consulting Group, our judges for the ArchEng Workshop 2015. I'd like to thank the Honourable Minister Joe Goodhue, the Associate Minister for Primary Industries, for hosting our prize giving this year in the Parliament building.